I'm a simple guy. He is not tall, 1 meter 75. I'm not fat, but I'm not thin either. I train a lot, but this does not change the fact that I am not handsome and will never become one. Besides, I'm not rich or famous. I have a good job and a good salary, but there is no chance of ever becoming damn rich. My reproductive organ is average size. I'm not a freak, but I'm not a model either. I have no scars, no limp, and no bad breath. There's nothing wrong with me, but there's nothing special about me. I'm just some guy. You probably know a lot of people like me. Much the same applies to my wife, Annette. She's not that unpleasant to look at least through my eyes, but she's certainly not a sexy girl. She has a wide ass and a flat chest, but I love her just the way she is. I am happy and satisfied with our relationship. Sometimes I even think it's better that we're both so unremarkable. It's easy to fall in love with an exceptionally beautiful person. The problem is that you fall in love with the cover, not the content. If you are as inconspicuous as we are, then your love is probably something more significant. Loving an ordinary person means loving the individual. Of course, almost every guy thinks that, for example, Angelina Jolie is gorgeous. In this case, I am an exception, but probably 99% of people of my sex think so. If you have a less outstanding example of a woman, then I get the impression that opinions differ much more. Some people like this type, some like that type. Men's opinions seem to vary much more than when it comes to stunning beauty. It's the same with my Annette. While I enjoy looking at her, most of my buddies seem to find her rather unattractive. For me, this is normal. I married her for my own sake and not to brag about her. I even relaxed a little when I learned that there was no big competition and that it was really mine. Some of my friends even dared to warn me that I was underestimating myself and that I could have a much cuter baby. I seriously doubted it. But even if so, what difference does it make? Even if I was a 6 out of 10 and she was a 5, should I leave her and try to replace her with a 6? How superficial is this thinking? And, as I already said, all this is in the eye of the beholder anyway. Now, would I say that everything is perfect with my Annette? No, of course not. An ideal life is like a mathematical limiting case that does not exist in real life. The fly in the ointment in our case was the so-called women's group. Now, of course, you expect to hear about some underground secret circle of evil women hatching plans to destroy the men around them, or about a group of wild chicks hanging out in bars and looking for short-term sexual release. Again, completely wrong. It's hard to believe, but we husbands were even invited to take part in it. Now imagine 8 women gossiping at full speed, demonstrating their multitasking abilities by carrying on 2 or 3 conversations at once. Keep in mind that none of this talk makes any sense. Imagine 2 or 3 single men sitting between them, wondering what their wives are even talking about, not being able to get a word in edgewise, and even if they understood, they would have nothing to share or interest. Imagine enduring this for 3 or 4 hours, listening without receiving a single piece of information worth sacrificing even the slightest amount of brain effort. As a result, you begin to wish you had undergone root treatment instead. Needless to say, the whole thing turned into an all-female event in no time. While women have been best friends since time immemorial, us guys barely knew each other. Of course, our loving spouses invited us to spend some time together while they discussed important things, but that soon fizzled out as well. Soon I preferred to spend my time at home and was quite satisfied with this, deciding never to attend such painful meetings in my life. They always met in one of the wives' houses, and it's good that ours was one of the most modest. Therefore, they rarely gathered with us, and this is for the better. They never met in bars or went to dances or anything like that. It was all very harmless in every way. Sometimes I wondered how they could come up with new topics of conversation. But this was not my problem. And although I witnessed their meetings, I was under the impression that this was not a problem at all. On the plus side, Annette was usually home around 8 o'clock, which gave us some time to spend together. That Friday, she returned home in an even better mood than usual. Meeting her friends seemed to do her good, and I was very happy about it. Honey, you know, the girls and I always talk about everything. Certainly. She seemed unsure, and starting a conversation with such an empty phrase was unusual for her. I had the distinct feeling that a lot of crap was going to follow. Uh, Sometimes we come up with the strangest things. Oh, was something more significant expected of me? Most likely not. I could safely assume that open ears was all that was required of me at that moment. She'll tell you what's going on soon. I certainly did not mean to disagree with this last statement, since it exactly corresponded to my own impressions. You know, we started some kind of game. Most of us are just housewives, and our lives can be a bit boring. So we decided to liven it up a little. Just some harmless fun for a bunch of bored housewives, you know? She winked and looked pleased, but I had an unpleasant feeling about it. She was preparing me for not just a small bucket of crap, but a truckload of it. It was all Angela's idea, but we all agreed it would be such a nice experience. Come on, Frank, don't look so sour. You'll really like this. Oh, but I wasn't so sure. The feeling of fear did not want to leave my head. This is just a game. You see, the rules are simple. She was already very excited, but obviously didn't know how to get to the point. No. Frank, I know there are some real hotties in our group. Well, I do not know. Of course, some of them are okay, but I only love you. After several years as a husband, you just know how to navigate the minefield disguised as simple questions. You should know better, boy. Anyway, I think every man alive thinks that at least Bea, Tina, and Angela are sexy as hell. Carla and Nina aren't too bad either, don't you think? Annette, where exactly are you going with this? Why does she praise her friend's attractiveness? This could not lead to anything good, and accordingly my voice became a little harsher in proportion to my gloomy mood. She was clearly trying to sell me something I wouldn't like. Anyway, we came up with this idea. Kinda crazy, you know? Well, we thought that every husband could spend 3 wild nights with someone other than his wife. For every night he can choose one of the girls from our group. Of course, he can also choose the same girl 2 or 3 times. Annette? What do you mean? I interrupted her rudely. I was just about to say, she explained patiently, you can have wild sex with 3 hot women. And what is the price? What? She looked almost indignant. What is the price? You're not going to offer me 3 nights of hot sex with other women without getting something out of it that you want. I already guessed where this would lead, but I decided to let her explain everything. Yes, Bea, Tina, and Angela were admittedly pretty hot, but their husbands weren't chopped liver either. Why would they want to spend the night with plain old Frank? I already guessed that this would lead to some kind of idiotic wife swap. It turned out that I was wrong. Things got even worse. Frank, Bea met a certain guy. I think he works as some kind of dancer. A stripper. Normally I would find this funny, but in this case I don't. Well, yes, good. If you want to put it that way, then yes. She noticed how I frowned. But he's not some brainless guy, you know? He's actually quite charming. I think you'll like him, she added hastily, as if that would change anything. So you want to have sex with this handsome guy 3 times? And to calm me down, can I spend 3 times with one of your friends? I made a wild guess. Once? What? I'll only have sex with Mario once, she said in a rather timid voice. What? This means nothing. It will be similar to playing sports, just some meaningless sex. Exclusively with a condom, of course. Can't be. You see, this is a good deal. You get 3 times, but I only get 1. Sorry, I'm not interested. Wait a minute. Suddenly, a terrible idea came into my head. Am I the first husband to receive such an offer? What? No. Why do you ask? Paul and Tom have already agreed. Paul chose 2 nights with Bea and 1 with Tina. Tom wanted to spend 1 night each with Bea, Tina, and Angela. By the way, they both seemed quite happy with the conditions. Very pleased indeed. She looked quite confident again. Have they had these wild nights before? Yes. Why are you so upset about this? Let me think. Will I have the opportunity to choose from all the women in your group? Yes. She looked quite pleased, somehow managing to ignore my stern face. How are Tom and Paul? Certainly. They chose, so they didn't choose you. No, not me. She felt that trouble was ahead of her. But you offered yourself to them? Well, yes. Technically, I did it. She finally understood what was going on. But there was nothing, she hastily added. It doesn't matter even if it did. Until now, it was just a crazy idea that I could throw away before something went wrong. But what you just told me gives everything a whole new quality. Frank, what's the problem? Nothing happened, I swear. But I could tell from her face that she knew exactly what the problem was. My forever-loving wife offered 2 men the opportunity to have sex with her, that's the problem, I replied rather angrily. Frank, don't be stupid. There are 5 really hot women among us. The chance that I would be chosen was almost 0. The likelihood that any man with eyes would choose me was, in any case, close to 0. Relax, okay? I couldn't stand it when she acted like that. I think you underestimate yourself a little, but that's not the point. This would be a clear betrayal. The proposal itself is unacceptable. Yes, I understand what you mean. Frank, I didn't expect you to give up all of this. I was absolutely sure that you would jump at the opportunity to do this. And in this case, even the remote possibility that something could happen did not matter. This is wrong. I understand now. There was a long, awkward silence between us. And would you do it? I finally asked. Yes, she answered meekly. I would have to. I'm sorry. I miscalculated your reaction. Crap. I was so disappointed that I was speechless for a few seconds. Then something else occurred to me. As far as I understand, you've already seen this guy, Mario? Yes. Now she was barely audible. You liked him? Did you like it? No, I don't even really know him. Okay, he's charming, but probably downright unattractive and arrogant if you get to know him. She clearly and unsuccessfully tried to calm me down. But, yes, but... She took a deep breath. For some reason, this sigh irritated me more than anything else. It reminded me of a teenager in love. But he wouldn't have gotten the job if he was a freak, would he? No, probably not, I answered briefly. Here you see? It would be like having a quick fumble with a hot-looking inflatable doll. So he's absolutely, incredibly hot? Well, that's the way it should be if he can manipulate women like Bea or Angela, who have quite handsome husbands in this way. Yes, she said, barely audible. Hi? She nodded silently. Muscular? Good-looking? Charming? With every word I spoke louder and louder. She pulled away from me and did not answer, but I realized that it was all true. Damn her and her group of girls. We sat in silence, both clearly unsure of how to proceed. After a while, a little calm returned to me. So, let me sum it up. My beloved wife sees this absolutely hot stripper and offers her body to 2 men for the opportunity to fuck him. This is true? Frank, no. That's not the point. This is completely taken out of context. But this is a fact, right? The rest are just ideas based on the assumption that I will go along with this crazy scheme. Well, if you see it like that, sorry, but it wasn't planned that way. We didn't expect that one of the husbands would refuse this. The offer was too good. I still can't get over it. I mean, for one night of mine, you get 3. And again, I interrupted her. The quantity doesn't matter, Annette. Loyalty is not something that is sold in the market. I don't want to have sex with someone else, and I don't want you to. End of story. Okay, I understand. Now, I understand it. I'm just glad nothing happened yet. Besides the fact that you are in love with some guy, you plan to have sex with him and offer your body to other men. Well, yes, but in reality, nothing happened. I don't know. It's not easy to digest. Right now, I don't feel like I can truly trust you. Understand? Frank, I'm so sorry. While it would be nice to have a little fun with Mario, I don't need anything. I need only you. Now I see where I was wrong, and I won't do anything like that again behind your back. I promise. I believed her, but I wasn't going to let her off the hook so easily. I wanted revenge. Come on, I'll show you how much I need you. Call me weak, but I let her take me to the bedroom. And boy, did I get my payment. Then, in high spirits, I decided to forgive her. Probably her friends pushed her to do this, and she miscalculated the situation. And in the end, nothing really happened, right? A few weeks later, I was very, very surprised at the direction our conversation was taking. I expected this stupid plan to be as dead as the steak I was going to eat later, but apparently I was wrong. After our crisis, 2 women's closed meetings were held. Frank? Yes? Don't be angry, please. No need. Just don't, okay? I already guessed where it was leading. Frank, the girls are very unhappy with your refusal. Keeping the girls happy is not my problem. Is it okay if they visit us? No, it's not worth it. I don't have the slightest desire to be covered in sand by a bunch of women trying to drag me into their stupid plan. At least talk to them, okay? No, I'm not interested in that. I won't win anything. I was interrupted by the doorbell. Damn it, they're early. What? Don't be angry. I expected you to at least be open to talking about it. Just great. And why did you even bother asking me this? Frank, don't get angry, okay? I decided to remain silent, hide my anger, and wait for the upcoming joint attack. And what kind of attack was it? Come on, we'll be so nice to you. You're ruining our game. We can't continue now, and we can't leave it half finished. Take a look at what we have to offer, okay? Come on, get yourself together. Lots of hot ladies offering themselves to you. And so on. In just a few minutes, most of them were topless. Some were about to strip completely. I can't say that the spectacle was unpleasant, but their attempt to convince me was as crude as it was doomed to failure. Come on, here's a free sample for you. Just play with my breasts, okay? No. Why? Are you gay? No, I'm not gay, I'm married. And this means that I will remain faithful to my wife. Come on. It's sweet, but if you both agree, it's not cheating. But I don't agree. Fortunately, Annette remained silent throughout the entire event. I was glad she didn't side with them or participate in the campaign. Come on, we'll have to stop the whole game if you're not on board. We will not be able to offer the remaining husbands the entire group of girls. Annette has already offered herself to Paul and Tom. We cannot treat other husbands differently. It is not fair. Bea and Tina's husbands have already paid their debts. We must allow them to receive their full reward. It's not my problem. Oh, come on. You can't be that stubborn. Sorry, but it seems like that's just me. You're ruining the whole game. Bea and Tina will be cheaters if we have to stop. At least Paul had already received his payment. Comfort them as you wish. Offer the rest of the group. That should be enough. But I won't participate. You don't really need Annette. There are plenty of women to choose from. We know that at least one hubby has always liked Annette. We cannot deny him this. This surprised me. I loved my Annette, but she was right when she said that most men would prefer other members of this little club of schemers. Annette, did you know about this? This contradicted her assertion that she would not be chosen anyway. No, she looked very surprised. No, I did not know. Somehow I doubted their little story. For the sake of rewarding other husbands, they did not need Annette. They could easily continue their stupid game without us. But somehow they clearly needed me and Annette to participate. I just couldn't understand why. Interesting. However, you can stop now, ladies, and get dressed again. Continue with your little plan without Annette and me. I think this shouldn't be a problem. They all reluctantly got dressed, their expressions varying from disappointed to downright angry. It's not over yet, Frank, you'll see, Angela said almost threateningly. I know it sounds funny, but I knew her, and I also knew that she wouldn't stop until she got what she wanted. For all her beauty, she was almost unbearably self-confident and stubborn. Fortunately, with these parting words, the whole group left. Maybe we can have dinner at a restaurant, I asked, as if nothing had happened. It would be wonderful, Annette replied in the same tone. She may be easy to manipulate, but she has a great sense of humor. I realized again how much I love her, despite this stupid episode. When I walked out of my office building a few days later, before I could even get to my car, Angela stopped me. Angela. I was not at all happy to meet her, and my tone showed it. Of course, she didn't understand or care about such subtleties. Frank, you really should be reasonable, she began without further ado. Why? Why is this so damn important? Can't you just continue without Annette? No, otherwise the rest will turn out to be traitors. There is something more behind this, isn't there? Well, okay, why not? Actually, this also applies to Mario. He's clearly out of our league, even out of B's and my league. So why does he do this? He has his own fetish. Yes? He likes, please don't get me wrong, he prefers to have sex with married women. Has he already met all the women in your group? Yes, we all met him. And he insists that everyone go through him, right? Yes, this is his inexorable condition. Let me guess, he also wants to meet their husbands someday? She seemed slightly surprised. Well, we were planning some kind of party at the end to celebrate this event. Why are you asking? Angela, his fetish is cuckolding. You understand that, right? What? He likes to humiliate married men. That's why at the end he wants to meet us. That's why he insists on having all women without exception. That's why he threatens you to call it all off if Annette doesn't take part. He won't like me attending the party without horns. I think he will take this as a kind of personal defeat. This is ridiculous, but at least she seemed thoughtful. Don't count on me, okay? Frank, I will really make this worth your time. She tried to sound seductive, but it was as sincere as a smiling shark. For what? Frank, he is incredibly handsome. Wait. She took a photograph from her purse. The guy was very muscular and handsome. I had to give him credit. But it was just that arrogant grin of his that immediately aroused my dislike. Now, do you understand why this is so important? To be honest, I didn't understand. This is our only chance in life to have sex with a guy like him. He is what every woman dreams of. So, all wives will spend one night with the man of their dreams? Right. At the very end, after all the husbands have received their reward. Will women then have to spend the rest of their lives with their bastard husbands? What? It took her a little by surprise, but she quickly came to her senses. No, you don't understand. I don't understand. I understand that you are systematically destroying marriages here. Are you really sure that everyone will be happy to stay with their spouses after this? All women will have this handsome guy to compare their husbands to, and husbands will have the opportunity to compare their wives with several other women. How many intact marriages do you expect to find after this? Well, it worked pretty well twice. It sounds like you're just too insecure for that. Other husbands didn't have your concerns. Angela, Paul, Carla, and Tom seem happy. Maybe they don't care what their wives think of them. Call me weak, but that's what I am. I'll worry that she'll keep thinking about her wild night with a guy I can't compete with. The ghost of this stupid game will remain in the background throughout our marriage. This is nonsense, Frank. This is just an adventure. No emotions. It just brings everything to life. She loves you. You will easily remain in first place. My answer is still no. The risk is high, while I simply don't see the benefit. I still don't want to have sex with another woman. And I don't want Annette to have sex with another man. We are married, and that means something to me. Frank, your behavior could destroy marriages here. Some husbands have already had adventures while others have not. We need to balance the scales, otherwise everything will collapse. And he simply refuses to continue unless Annette is included. Several other wives refuse to change partners unless they have experience with Mario. If you chicken out, everything will go to hell. It's your problem. I think this whole shitty thing came down to a fight between me and that idiot Mario. He wants to destroy my marriage for his own amusement, and I want to save what's left of it. Frank, please be reasonable. You're making a mountain out of a mountain. Frank, I'm begging you. I haven't had it yet, but I need it. Frank, I need to experience this at least once. Please don't let me down. It became something of an obsession for us. This will be a one-time thing for Annette, I promise. I know. He is not interested in you or other women. One time of sex with each woman is enough to achieve what he wants, namely to cuckold us husbands. You, and even sex, are just a means and an end for him. Yes, but it's good, isn't it? He will not pose a threat to our marriages. No chance of repeat performance. Forget it. You have already admitted that this has become an obsession for you, and yet you want to convince me that this is completely insignificant for Annette and my marriage. You have to make a decision. What is it really? Okay, I understand. I tried my best, Frank. I really tried. But don't think it's over, Frank. This is far from the end. Her voice sounded almost threatening, but I couldn't imagine how she could get me to agree. We had just had a delicious dinner and planned to just stare mindlessly at the screen for a while. As I walked, Annette tried to stay close to me, and I was glad that she did that and supported me a little because I suddenly felt dizzy. I opened my eyes and saw a wooden ceiling. It was strange. We didn't have a wooden ceiling. I've never seen this ceiling before, I thought, examining the details of the wooden structure with calm interest. There are very strange lines there. Hey, these bitches look like a face. Why is my mouth so dry? I still felt very tired. Quite a strong desire to close my eyes again. This is unrealistic. Who is this? A pleasant female voice, but it doesn't seem familiar. This is just unreal. I didn't sign up for this kind of crap. What? Who? I was still a little stunned. Where am I? How did you get here? Who is this apparently quite attractive woman? You have no idea about anything, do you? It seemed to me that she had long, wavy, and dark hair, which I liked. She was as beautiful as Angela or Bea, maybe even more so, but what really struck me was that she somehow exuded class and elegance. Damn, damn, damn. This is not what I was told, which, for some reason, didn't reflect in her rather mundane use of language. She seemed slightly worried. Where? I tried again, still not understanding anything. I don't know where exactly we are. We are in some kind of hut. They brought me here and it took forever. It seems that we are surrounded by a huge forest. I didn't want to do it anyway. It all seemed too risky. But these ladies persuaded me, saying that the client was a truly good guy. If the money weren't so damn good, I'd give it up. Money? Oh, shit. You don't know anything, right? To be honest, I don't really get it. Okay, how can I explain this? Everything is just weird. I hope I don't get into any trouble because of this. Just start from the beginning, okay? By this time, I was completely awake and really wanted to hear what had happened to me. Fine. Simply put, I am a high-class escort girl. It was believable. She definitely had the appearance for it. The ladies came to hire me. 4, to be more precise. They came up with a job that I should have turned down in the first place. I was told about a lonely, sweet, and even cute guy who spends a week in a remote cabin, just relaxing and enjoying himself. And they wanted to top it all off by sending me there to help him relax and enjoy life. For a woman in my profession to do something like that is dangerous. If any man asked for this, I would immediately refuse. But 4 women. It seemed unlikely that there was some kind of rapist or murderer hiding in the forest. One of them even claimed that she was the client's wife. Ah, got it. Shoulder-length, straight brown hair? Right. A bit like a mouse, isn't it? What? No offense, but you're completely out of her league. Well, I love her. And this is the most important thing. I was still a little angry at people making those comments about Annette. Everyone seemed to want to compare her to me or put her down. Well, at least I loved you before. It's all a little complicated. Oh, hell, I don't know. So it was actually your wife who hired me to spend a week with you. Looks like it. My wife knows that I have a vacation this week, and somehow I ended up here. Damn, I think in order to get me here, she pumped me full of some kind of crap. Yes, I guessed that. When I arrived, you were almost passed out. So they hired you and brought you here? Yes. I know it sounds crazy, but I got paid awfully good money for this job, and I thought I could get some exercise when we're not having sex. Study? Yes, I am getting a higher education. Lately, I haven't had much time to work because I have to study for exams. That's why I needed money even more urgently than usual. And this job seemed ideal, a week of combining study and earning money. Some lucrative goodbye kiss to my old profession. That's why I took it up. Damn me. Why? Am I really that disgusting? Oh no, not at all. I'm just afraid that someone will get into trouble soon. I mean, you've been drugged and you're here against your will. Someone is really going to get into trouble soon, but it won't be you. Glad to hear. Now come on. What? Post your story. I have a feeling it will be quite interesting. Oh, this. Yes, interesting is the right word. Too interesting for my taste. It sounded as bitter as I felt, so I told her about Annette's game, about her desperate need to have sex with this handsome guy, about their failed attempts to convince me. When I finished my sad story, she sat with a surprised expression on her face. Seriously? I saw these women. Some of them aren't exactly ugly. Not at all, but what does it matter? I would say that they are much sexier than your wife. Damn, why does everyone keep annoying me with this crap? I don't like comparing people, especially my wife. And yet, you refuse to accept their offer. Of course, so that good can come out of it. She would break our wedding vows, I would break them. We would both have sex with other partners. We would always compare our most intimate moments to what we have experienced with others. Our marriage would be tainted in some way. Wow. Wow. You are what everyone talks about. Sorry? You are one of the really good guys. It seems like they actually exist, and now I've even met one of them. Wow. What? What is she talking about? I'm just a normal guy. Anyway, what happens now that we're here? Can't we somehow get out of here? I need to have a serious talk with my wife. We don't have a car, that's for sure. And we are in the middle of nowhere. Supplies for a week. Although I guess I could use my cell phone. Crap. Looks like they stole it. Here you go, bitches. I think we have quite a lot of time to kill him. Yes. Well, if you don't want sex. Do you mind if I have a little sex? Not at all. How can I help you? Would you like to? Certainly. She looked at me for quite a long time with an inscrutable expression on her face. Then it suddenly defrosted. Wait, they asked me to show you this message in case you don't want to have sex with me. Oh no, I had a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I was afraid that I would get a set of photos of her having sex with this Mario guy to motivate me to have sex with this woman. Luckily, it was a simple note. Have fun, dear. Remember that this is just a game. Some harmless fun without any emotions. Just enjoy your time with her. I love only you, no matter what you decide to do. If you refuse to have sex with her, we'll give up everything. I won't do anything stupid without your consent. Crap. Although I should have felt relieved, this message again reminded me of what had happened up to that point. My wife tried to get me to start swinging, even drugged me with some crap, and provided a prostitute to convince me to take the first step. This was not what I thought a wife should do. Marriage shouldn't be like this. You will? She asked, deliberately not understanding me. What? No thanks. So, what about your studies? I needed a distraction, so I spent the morning testing her knowledge. Considering the circumstances, we actually had a good time. We spent the following days doing the following. Thinking about a marriage in trouble, studying, cooking, walking in the woods, moping, looking incredibly beautiful, being depressed, sitting in front of the fireplace and talking about everything. Of course, neither of us did all this. The week was almost over. We knew that a group of rascals were going to pick us up in about an hour. We sat on the veranda, drinking our last cup of coffee in companionable silence. By the way, my name is Lisa. Frank. Nice to meet you. Me too. We didn't exchange another word until the car pulled up. My alarmed wife literally ran to the place where I was standing, holding out her hands in anticipation. It's Sunday morning, and my mood is relaxed after a very enjoyable night of lovemaking with my wife. The sad events associated with this stupid game are mostly forgotten. It was a crazy idea from the start. Annette clearly saw the error of her ways and I have to say I'm completely done with it. Yes, I can honestly say that I absolutely forgave her. It wasn't easy, but I had outside help, and I look back on it without holding a grudge. Of course, it helped that she never actually had sex with that Mario guy. Hey, when I think about it, I actually have to smile more often than not. In the end, it didn't hurt me at all, and I think my marriage is even stronger now. Much stronger, actually. My wife, still half asleep, shuffles into the kitchen. "Coffee, dear?" She nods silently, and I hand her the mug to bring her back to the world of the living. Quite a wild night, huh? Yes, I have a rather wild wife. You're not an empty place either, mister. Lisa playfully hits me with her fist. We both smile. All is well in the world. I love you, Frank. I love you too. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.